Welcome back for another episode of the Office Hours podcast with Professor Brad Perkins. Today, in our guests, we have Heather Jenkins with Swinerton. She's going to be talking about everything that is hiring in the engineering career fair that is tomorrow here at Hilton Coliseum. It is also the day after the Super Bowl. Super Bowl was a fairly good outcome from my perspective. Our family has a history of being Seahawks fans, and it went well. Big, good defensive battle, but it went well. But anyway, we're not here to talk about football. I'm going to let Heather introduce herself. Heather, take it away.
Yeah, my name's Heather Jenkins. I was a Connie grad in 2018. I went to work as a superintendent for...
Hold on. And very importantly, you were one of my TAs for Connie 241.
Yes, can't forget that.
Yes, one of the meanest and most brutal TAs. She was much harder of a grader than you're going to go through. Just saying.
Yes, I was with Brad for many years.
Yeah, that's
at
right.
Iowa State.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, then I went and worked as a superintendent after I graduated for about 4 years, and then I transitioned to be a project manager in Denver. And so now I'm working with Swinerton, and I love it.
Okay, that's awesome. She's here to recruit for Swinerton. Okay, we'll let our student introduce himself. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Eric Allard. I'm a sophomore in the Connie program at Iowa State, a building emphasis as well. I'm from Northwest Iowa, kind of up by Sioux City, Iowa, and I've had one internship last summer with Gleason out of Sioux City. It's a food processing company. So,
and if by chance during the podcast I accidentally call him Austin, he's got two brothers that have already gone through this program, and it's just I looked at him and I'm like, yeah, you look like Austin. I'm sorry. Okay, it's just going to be natural. So I'm trying. I don't think Have I done that yet this semester?
I think Andrew was.
Andrew. Okay, I might have called you Andrew. Yeah. Okay. All right. I know. I was like, I've stopped myself a couple of times. I was like, wait, oh, yeah. All right. So today, well, hold on a second. Hey, Heather, there's one thing I want to talk about. So you went to be a superintendent down in Dallas. Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Yes.
Talk about that experience because that had to be, getting an engineering degree and then going to be a superintendent, and that's got to be quite it not everybody does that. Okay. I'd like you to talk about that just for a second.
Yeah. So during really my last internship before I graduated, I did more of a field internship because that seemed very appealing to me. I like to see the physical product of how things are being built. And so I went and did that right out of college. Loved it. You really get to be more hands-on, which I really appreciated. And then coordinating with the trades and learning from them. I felt I learned way more in the 4 years.
Oh, I'm sure that's got to be true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're so immersed in it, and you're having to make decisions constantly for how to, roughen this wall correctly or how to build this detail for this soffit. And so you're just so in the weeds, and you really get to understand every single piece that goes into the building, which I really loved. The reason I left, though, is that I am very passionate about being in healthcare, and healthcare is very much a 24/7 job.
Yeah.
And so being a superintendent in the healthcare world there's a lot of responsibility for early mornings, late nights, and it ended up just being like 14, 16-hour days for months on end and 6 days a week.
Ooh. Yeah.
And so it got very tiresome and burnt me out, if I'm being completely honest.
No, that's, this is a reoccurring theme in our industry.
Yep.
We tend to focus a lot on the, this has changed a lot. So, I can say this, right? I'm looking at my image. I'm old. Okay, I am.
You're wise.
I'm wise. That is so kind. I like having you as a guest. She is so kind. But no, a lot of attitudes have changed with regards to physical health. Mm-hmm. Okay, when I was an intern, hard hats were optional. Safety glasses. Nobody actually wore safety glasses, gloves, whatever. Injuries were just a part of the deal. And arthritis by age 50 was a part of the deal.
Yep.
And, people were treated as much more of a consumable commodity. And those attitudes have changed a lot. I mean, look at the problem we have in construction right now. We don't have enough people in the skilled trades.
Yep.
We don't. So we've got to do a better job, and I think we are, of physically taking better care. I mean, look at the advances in safety equipment, in things like exoskeletons, and a lot of the breakthroughs in machinery and tools are all about safety, making it so that our workers can do the job longer. Yep. Because we just don't have enough of them to treat them like a consumable commodity. Physically.
Yep.
Okay. I would say, let's just be honest. Mentally, we're not doing as awesome in the whole construction world.
I would say yes, but it is improving.
It is improving drastically.
Yes. The conversation has started.
Yes.
And people are a lot more open to talk about it.
Yep.
And if you're working for a good company that values you as a person, they're
Yes.
going to help you set those boundaries so that you don't reach that point of burnout. So
yes,
finding support is really
I like
helpful.
how you caveated that. If working for a good company.
Yes.
But life's short. There's not enough people in construction. If you're not working for a good company that doesn't value, then maybe you should check out going elsewhere.
Yep.
Okay, those are all good moves. I mean, you've moved the jobs just once.
Yes.
Changed? Okay. All right. Okay. So went from superintendent in the field every day. Now tell me about your current job there at Swinerton, because I'll be honest, I had not heard of Swinerton until one of our faculty came from Swinerton in California, and I didn't know anything about them. I looked them up. Oh, look, they're a $5 billion a year company.
Yep.
I was like, oh, that's not okay. So I didn't know that, before. Before too terribly long ago. So tell me a little bit about the company, because I'm sure there's a lot of other Connies that are like kind of the same way, just like hadn't heard of them.
Well, I came from a very similar position. When I was in Texas, Swinerton does have an office in Dallas, but it's on the smaller side. And then when I moved to Colorado, I had some coworkers that went from my old company over to Swinerton, and they just ranted and raved about it.
Yeah.
So that kind of piqued my interest.
Sure.
And then when I was in the market for a new job, they had an assistant project manager position open. And I was like, let's see if this is the better balance for me.
Okay.
And
was it also in healthcare?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So I've been very clear about my priorities to stay in healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
It's just where I'm passionate about, because I get to help people through the work that I do. And so transitioning over to the office side, there was quite a bit of a learning curve, having to understand contractual stuff, budget stuff, just being like very 30,000 feet right now.
Yeah.
It was a lot to take in. I spend a lot less time in the field, a lot less time in the details, which is an adjustment. But, I really get to kind of see the project as a whole. And it's nice not being in the details all the time, and being able to just have like a broader perspective of it, and being able to make changes with the broader picture in mind. So right now I'm currently working on an $11 million hospital renovation.
Okay. Hospital renovation, so still occupied, people using it every day.
Yep.
How's that? That's got to be tricky.
Everybody says if you could renovate a hospital, you can build anything.
I bet that's true. No. That's got to be the case, right?
Yeah. So there's a lot that goes into it. If you have active patient care areas adjacent to you, you have to do what's called infection control. So you have containment barriers to contain your construction. You have to exhaust negative air so that anytime you open a door to the active space, the air sucks into it and you're not pushing dust outside. And then you have to like plastic everything off. Everything has to be cleaned at least 2 to 3 times before you are able to turn the space back over for use. You have to make sure that all of your equipment is nice and clean going into the building. And
Do you have to go so far as the workers wearing the whole Tyvek suits and?
if you're in sterile area, yep.
Okay, all right.
And then we also have what's called a HEPA cart. And basically that's a containment box that you roll into the hallway and you lift the curtain all the way up to the ceiling, and it creates a negatively pressurized environment for you to like go above a ceiling tile and do something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you're like pulling wire or, putting in a valve.
Sounds
or
like you're
something.
doing a surgical suite for pulling wires.
Yeah.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. I guess it is.
Yeah, everything is very detailed.
How do you estimate that? That's got to be. I mean, there's a book for that. I don't know.
You generally understand what it's going to take when you've been doing this for a little while.
Okay,
So
okay.
like just putting up containment barriers, we have prefabricated containment barriers, which is really nice. They're height adjustable. So it's like a 7-foot tall panel, maybe 6.5 foot, and then it's got a sliding portion on top of it to go up to the ceiling height, so you can adjust it for up to like 10 feet of the ceiling height.
Oh, that's cool.
And then you lock it in
didn't know.
place. Yeah. And then you tape all your joints between like the wall and the containment barriers. And then you have ante rooms. So you have a room before you go into construction. And you also have that same room before you go out into the hospital. And it's where you like clean everything off and make sure that you're good to go. So you're not actively opening the hospital to construction
and then
area.
I suppose everything that goes through the hospital, you bag it in and out. And,
Yep.
Okay. all
Wheels
right.
have to be cleaned,
Wheels.
Tools, like everything's got to be nice and clean.
Wow. Okay. All right. That's a deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we do a lot with air pressurizations.
Yeah.
Like I said, everything has to be negatively pressured. And we have manometers to read the air pressures of the space, and it has to be within a certain set point to be able to be safe depending on what area you're in. Usually it's like negative 0.02 or 0.03 inches per water column. So there's a lot that goes into it.
That is, yeah.
And then you also have to be mindful of like any utility shutdowns. If you're shutting down power for one circuit, is that going to affect an OR right next door? Or is it going to turn off?
Wow, you really hope they did the as-built right,
Yeah.
don't you? Okay.
A lot of investigating.
I was going to say, yeah, there probably has to be. How, like here, if we would rewind the clock to when I started. Now, I never did a whole lot of design in medical. All right. I mean, I just, there were other people that were experts at that. And that was just something I was not particularly interested in.
Yep.
But here, if we rewind the clock 20 years, I would have to say that the whole doing good as-built was very hit and miss.
Yes.
Especially when we're talking about conduits and circuiting and, it's probably a lot better today, but what do you find when you go into an older hospital?
You find a lot.
I bet that's probably an understatement there.
Yeah. At one of my projects in Dallas, we pulled out a big piece of duct in the mechanical room. That duct's been up there for like 30 years. Once we dropped the duct, we looked up at the deck above us, and there was a big 10-inch hole in the deck, and they sealed it with a paint can.
That's awesome. Seal it with a paint can.
That's not fire rated.
That's not fire rated. Yeah.
But yeah, there's all sorts of stuff, and you have to check everything 3 times before you do anything to make sure that you're not impacting people's lives. Healthcare really is like a life or death situation. If you mess something up, things can go very wrong.
Ooh, I bet that makes your insurance provider very nervous.
Yes.
Right? I mean, I guess the good news is this has got to cut down the pool of bidders on any given project, right?
Yeah. So most of the clients that we work with are usually pretty good about bringing in trusted trade partners. You don't,
so maybe not a lot of. So do you does your company do more negotiated stuff rather than bidding?
We bid. We don't really do many hard bids though.
Okay.
So we do compete on a lot of the projects that we have. But we also negotiate a lot of the projects that we have as well. So it's a pretty good mix. But we, especially in healthcare, have more of a stance to say, hey, this cost is going to be a little bit more than what you expected because we're bringing in people who know the building. We're bringing in people who know how to do this. We're not bringing in somebody who's never worked in a hospital before.
Right.
And a lot of times the owners will be willing to pay that premium to have something that they know is going to be
So
tested.
would you have, not Austin.
Eric.
Right, the third brother to be in my classes. So you're going to work for, you said Harris?
Yep.
Harris Mechanical in Denver.
And actually, we're going to be working on a hospital. That's what I'm going to be working on anyways. I don't know much details about that yet, but that's all I know.
Nice.
I'm going to be working on a hospital with...
Oh, nice.
Very cool.
Okay, well then, gosh, it's a small construction world, isn't it?
Yep.
All right, going on. So how'd you get to Denver as an intern for the mechanical contractor?
Well, so my brother was originally in California, and he's been moving back between Denver and California.
Okay, who's he working for? And
Burns
which
Mac.
brother?
Austin.
Okay, Austin is at Burns and McDonald.
Yep.
Okay.
And Andrew's also at Burns and McDonald, but he's in Ohio.
Okay.
But he's in Denver.
Well, that's not confusing at all. Austin Allard in one, Andrew Allard in the other, both for Burns and McDonald.
And he's been moving back and forth. This January just moved to Denver again, so I'm going to be living with him and I thought it was smart, because for Harris, I could have went to Maryland, Minneapolis, but I thought it was smart that they give you like a prenup for each month to live.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, why don't I just ask my brother if I can live with him for free? And then just
Good call.
Yeah.
Totally. Eat his food, drink his stuff. Good thinking. Solid plan.
Yep. So I'll live with him, drive the extra maybe 20 minutes it is.
So worth it.
Yep.
And then, so did you want Denver or just you wanted the free room and board?
I did want somewhere different, and it was between Minneapolis, and I don't think Minneapolis is the greatest area, so I didn't want to go there.
You know what? If I had to choose, I would probably also choose Denver, because I just love Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you're close enough. Man, okay, on the weekends, all right, borrow your brother's, does he have a truck or something?
Yep.
Or Jeep? Awesome. Take it off-roading in the mountains around, because there's just some great areas. Like our family goes out to Estes Park at least once a year, but also there's some awesome mountain ranges, like pretty close. Let's see here. I'm going to get this wrong. San Cristo Mountain Range, just to the south.
San Juan, maybe?
No, near there.
Okay.
Okay. All right. But this is near Salida, Colorado.
Yeah.
There's just, we've gone out there multiple times camping and off-roading, where you rent a Jeep or something and you go on the back roads, go to old ghost towns and abandoned mines and stuff. That's super fun. It's all fairly close to Denver. You should absolutely do that. Salida, I would definitely go check that area out.
My favorite part about living in Denver is I can randomly decide that I want to go hiking and be in the mountains in 30 minutes.
and not just mountains. We're talking 10,000 foot plus mountains.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why Denver's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Denver itself is okay, but
yeah, Denver's it's another big city.
Mid city, yeah.
Yeah, not New York, not LA, but also not Kansas City either.
Yeah.
I mean, and I love Kansas City. I love having a town. I mean, when living in Kansas City was pretty fun, but it was small enough that you could get out of the town pretty easily. The traffic in Denver can be a little bit more
horrible.
Okay.
The roads are horrible too. I had to replace a flat tire on the interstate on Thursday.
Oh, did you?
6:20 in the morning.
Oh, good Lord. That's got to be fairly terrifying.
That was my third tire in 3 months. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. You need at least 10-ply tires next time. I'm just saying. Right? Truck tires.
Yep.
Even though are you driving a car?
I have an SUV.
SUV, you need truck tires. And then even then might not still might not help.
Nope.
All right. So what part do you know, like where in Denver? Okay.
Aurora, I think it's southeast.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that where you're living or where you're working?
Living just more inner, but that's where I'm working.
Okay.
So Centennial is where I'm living.
Okay. Very
Centennial, I
cool.
think.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So working for a mechanical contractor, good choice, solid choice. Okay. So that's kind of cool. Getting that now. And what's awesome about that is that you get a chance to figure out as an internship. Now, do I like the town? And personal opinion. And Heather, here, argue with me if I think it's more important to pick where you're going to live than who you're going to work for.
I disagree.
You do?
I do.
Okay. I think it's easier to change companies than it is cities.
Yes, but I think if you worked for a bad company, that could ruin it for you.
Right. And then I'm saying it's easier to change from the bad to the good company.
Yeah. I mean, I'm somebody that is okay with moving around a lot.
Well, now that's true. Okay. So she's got to explain, like, when she's like, I'm okay with moving around.
Yeah.
All right. So at one point, so Heather's on, I think, LinkedIn and Facebook with me, and she's like posting all this stuff in a month. It's like a different country every month, and then it's a different continent. I'm like, what are you doing, girl? How many places have you visited?
44 countries, all 7 continents, and 48 states.
See? that's seeing the world right there.
Yeah.
Okay, what fostered this desire to go to all these different places?
I grew up traveling quite a bit, actually. I went to all 48, well, not all 48, but the 48 states that I've been to, I went to by the time I was 12.
Well, now we have done that with our kids.
Yes.
All right. We made a concerted effort to do road trips and stuff. That was one nice thing about teaching, is that it does give you some time to, for family stuff during the summer. And so let me think here. I think we're still missing like Rhode Island. Who goes to Rhode Island, But I think we're only missing 1 or 2 states. We're missing Alaska. We've been to Hawaii with the kids. But then I think almost every other state. We've been ocean to ocean, border to border, north to south. We've been to a lot of the major national parks. Traveling with the kids when they were young, I would not trade that for anything.
Yep.
Okay, so you're used to traveling a lot, and you're like, well, I've seen everything here in the United States. Is that it?
Actually, so when I was here at Iowa State, I did I think it was like CE 380. It was the study abroad program. That is a short study abroad. So you do all your classes here.
Oh, was that in Italy?
I did the one in the UK, but they did do one in Italy.
Okay, they did one in Italy. Okay, because another one of my students did Italy.
Yeah. And so basically you take all your classes here, you learn all the content, and then you go there and you do field trips for like 2.5 weeks. And then it still allows you to have a summer internship and all that. And it counts as your spring tuition, or at least it did when I was here.
Oh, that's kind of awesome. All right.
But during that, me and one of my classmates at the time we flew out a couple days early and we went and bounced around Europe. Because why not?
Well, okay.
So we just had fun traveling for a few days before we had to get to Edinburgh, Scotland, for class start.
This doesn't sound like class. You know what I mean?
It was the best college class I ever took.
Best college class. Yeah, it makes mine sound kind of boring now, right? It's like, how am I going to compete with that?
But it was also really cool because it was learning transportation, or different types of transportation. So we did like the Falkirk Wheel in Scotland, which was like huge for water displacement. Like they basically take a boat and then fill it up with water, and then they turn the wheel.
I've seen pictures of this thing, right? I thought, is that AI? Is that real?
It's real.
It's real. Okay,
we wrote it.
You wrote it. That's got to be pretty cool.
And then we went to like the traffic control center in London. Like that was really cool. We saw a couple bridges being built in the UK.
They actually control traffic in London? I didn't think that was a thing.
We could see like they had a giant wall of screens, and you could see so many different traffic cams throughout London, and that was awesome. So we did that whole program for about 2.5 weeks, and then I came back to school, finished college, and then I didn't have any money because I had just gotten out of college, so I just stayed and worked for a while, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
So I didn't really do much during COVID, but I was...
The whole world didn't do much during COVID,
Right.
okay? I mean...
But then I started to save money during that time, and I was like, it would be nice to take a trip for really cheap as the world is starting to open back up.
Oh, that's probably true. That's
Yeah.
probably true.
So I went to Italy for like $500 round trip.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and got to explore Rome with no people around. And that was the most incredible experience.
That's pretty cool.
Bounced around Italy and Greece, came back, and I was like, oh, this was awesome. So I went to Iceland a couple months later.
Okay.
Did that. That was awesome. And so I was just kind of like, okay, what's my next trip going to be? And then I moved to Colorado and continued to travel with PTO and things like that. And then when I got really burnt out and I quit my job, I was like,
Were you in Colorado then? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Because I thought, I couldn't remember if you were in Texas then or Colorado.
So I was, I had requested to move to Denver with my company that I was with before. And they actually needed me up there anyways. They needed a healthcare superintendent for a big healthcare project. And I was like, great, awesome. And so I was in Colorado for about 10 months before I left. Mm-hmm. And I quit in October. And so I had like 2 months until the end of the year. I was like, this seems like a good amount of time to go travel for a little bit, get in a better headspace, come back and be more myself, get a new job in the new year. And so I took off for Europe, and I went for 3.5 weeks in Europe.
And that's
around.
where I would see just like, you get these feeds into your social media, and it's like, hi, I'm, you're like, Heather, what are you doing? Where are you at? And part of me was like, are you still working? What's going on? But anyway.
12 countries in 23 days, which was a lot. And then I had, the one thing I wanted to do during my time off was go to Antarctica because
obviously Antarctica sounds like a great tourist visit.
Well, it was one place that kind of like piqued my interest during COVID, but it's a minimum of a 10-day trip once you get to the southern tip of South America to go to Antarctica. And then to actually get down to the southern tip of Antarctica is another 2 to 3 days minimum each way. So I was like, there's no way I can take like 2.5, 3 weeks off of work. And so now I have all this time in the world to go do what I want, and I had saved the money to go at some point. So I went to South America, I went to Antarctica, loved it.
Okay, I just got to ask. So how does this get on a person's mind? Of all the places in the world, especially because you've been to some beautiful places. Mm-hmm. I would like to go. I'm not much of an international traveler. I have, but it's always been, for like, I did some stuff where this missions group needed an engineer, and it was for Santiago, Chile, and that was great. But I did not come back from that thinking, yes, I need to see more of the world. I came back from that one, and it probably has something to do with the fact that, the areas that need the most missions work are some of the worst areas.
Yeah.
And so here I was at this children's home, house of refuge in what I'm told are some of the worst slums of Santiago. And that was interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
2 things I learned about that nation. I'm tall and big, like everybody's like a lot shorter. And I'm also very pale.
Yep.
But anyway, I kind of knew both those anyway. Well, no, I knew I was pale, but anyway. So yeah, that was interesting. But I didn't come away from that with I want to go tour the world. I did not get that,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I kind of grew up with traveling, and so it was kind of instilled in my blood to just constantly be going to new places. And my sister actually went to Antarctica in like 2019, something like that. And she named both of her children after Antarctica. And I was like, if something...
How do you name a child after Antarctica?
So there's this one island called Adelaide Island.
Adelaide. Oh,
I've actually been there.
That's actually kind of a cool name.
Yeah. So my older niece is named Adelaide, and then my younger niece is named Caroline, and the first woman to ever go to Antarctica was named Caroline.
Okay. All right. Well, those are actually sweet names. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I
So
get that.
Antarctica is kind of big for my family. And then I saw
right.
some stuff on social media and I was like, you know what? I'll go check it out.
Okay.
And it is my favorite place
Really?
in the entire world.
Okay. Why? I mean, when I think of Antarctica, I kind of think like Iowa when it's minus 20 degrees and it's blowing, and I'm like, I really don't like this.
It was actually 40 degrees warmer in Antarctica than it was in Colorado.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was probably, that means it's probably 60 degrees warmer than Iowa.
Yeah. But no, it's just pure, raw nature. You get to see penguins in their natural habitat, whales in their natural habitat. You get to see how nature has rebounded from the whaling era because they tried to, set up whaling stations and it ruined the environment, but nature has rebounded.
Yeah, but I can see whales in Hawaii, and they were really pretty, which everybody should do, by the way. If you haven't done that, if you haven't been to Maui during the whale migrations in March, you absolutely should do that.
Yep.
And I'm willing to bet it was nicer than Antarctica.
I don't know.
No,
I might disagree
All
with you there.
All right.
But Antarctica is just a truly special place. And I fell in love with it immediately. We almost died getting there. I
think that would tend to kill some of the mystery, But anyway, go ahead.
Well, it
So
makes
you
it
almost
that
died?
much. Yeah, it makes it that much more rare to actually get there and to experience it.
Yeah.
But we lost a window at sea because you have to cross the roughest body of water in the world.
I was gonna ask that, see if you got airplane or boat because
The Strait of help me out here. The Strait of Gibraltar?
No.
I'm in the wrong spot. Strait of
Drake Passage.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
There we go.
And so they were very kind and they were like, hey, you almost died. Why don't you take a free trip, anyone that you want? And this was like it was December when I was doing this, and I was planning to like backpack around South America for a little bit longer and then fly back for Christmas and then get a new job after the new year. And I was like, well, free trip. I mean, I don't have anything going on. So I took the longest, most expensive one that you could take.
Yes. Okay.
And that pushed me into February because it was like the end of January through middle of February. Mm-hmm. It was like 23 days in Antarctica, and it was the best time ever, like most incredible time ever. And I was like, well, I got nothing else going on. Might as well continue to travel. So I also went to Europe for another 2 weeks, and then I went to Fiji. Or no, I didn't go to Fiji on that trip. I went to Tahiti in French Polynesia area, Bora Bora and all that. And then also visited some family during that time. And then I went back to work.
Then you ran out of money and had to go back to work.
I went back to work like 5 days after I got back from my last trip. So.
Wow. that is living a life of travel right there.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But I found that it was truly what I was passionate about. Okay. And so being able to feel like myself again after being in such a bad position at the end of the prior year, it was a very good reset for me. So.
Well, it must have been because a lot of people would also leave construction after that.
I considered it.
Did you?
I strongly considered it.
Did you? I understand that.
Yep. I was, the whole reason I switched to being a project manager is because I needed to find something that would balance me more.
A little bit better balance.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was like, I'm going to give it a go, see how it happens. And it's been a really good transition for me. So.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That sounds like quite a bit of soul searching.
Yes. I found my soul in Antarctica.
Found your soul in Antarctica. It's always the last place you look. I mean, maybe mine's down there. Maybe I should go find it. I don't know. All right. Well, that is quite okay. All right. That is quite the globe-trotting excursion there.
Yes.
Okay. I don't have anything cool to compare to that. Like I said, I went to Hawaii twice. It was cool.
I've been to Alaska.
Nice.
Yeah. Did you almost die?
No.
Okay. I didn't die on the way to Hawaii either, so I got nothing to compare to that, I guess. All right. Well, that is pretty awesome. All right. So we're back in Denver. You got a new job working still hospital stuff.
Yep.
Okay. And then they say, "Hey, why don't you go to Iowa State to recruit?" That's what brings you here to my podcast today?
Yes, that was actually my choice. I went to our division manager and I said, hey, we don't recruit from Iowa State. Why? We've got some great people out there.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, go do it.
Oh, all right. Well,
so
there you are. Okay.
Yeah. And
I mean, should we make fun of Steve for not getting it done? Is he not? Is he not dropping the company name while he's there in Capstone?
actually, quite a few kids at the fall career fair dropped his name when they came
good.
up and talked.
All
to
right,
us,
that's
so.
good. Glad to hear he's doing his thing.
Yep. So.
All right. Okay, so here, talk a little bit about, since Swinerton isn't as well known, why don't you talk a little bit about it?
Yeah. So we are a pretty large company, as Brad said, about $4 to $5 billion a year.
Okay, pretty large. You're like in the top. That puts you in the top 30.
Yep.
But to get to the top 10 is only like, it's pretty narrow range. You know, like, okay, you're at 5 billion, and I think to get to the top 10, you need to be at 5.8 or 9 billion, something like that.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm just saying, you know, you're that puts you in some pretty rare company, is all I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah. So the reason why I had never even heard of Swinerton before I came to Denver was because it's a very heavily West Coast based company.
They're the biggest in Southern California. I looked
Yes.
this up for
Yes.
podcast,
And
so.
we also hold one of the oldest contractor's license in California.
Oh, really?
So we've been around since like the 1880s.
Oh.
So
That
very,
is very old for a construction company.
yes, very long history, especially in California and along
Okay.
the West Coast. I think like 12 of our offices are in California. I could be wrong on that number. But we've started to grow geographically. So Denver is part of our central region. We also have Dallas and Austin in our central region. And then we also have some East Coast real estate as well.
I didn't know that one.
Yep. So
Right.
we have an office in New York, one in the Carolinas. And so we've just continued to expand.
What's I don't know if you and maybe since you're in Denver, you might not have a good answer to this one, but what's the California construction market like? I mean, is it growing? Is it like it's kind of because I'm always interested in knowing like where is the industry headed, because I had an interesting question in class this last week where someone asked, so what does happen during a downturn?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it hit me, and I'm like, because for me, I've been in construction. I've seen a lot of ups and downs, but really since 2012, there haven't been any downs.
Yeah.
Which is kind of odd.
I wouldn't say that construction as a whole has any downs, but there are definitely markets that have downturns.
Well, no, but like if we look at 2008, the entire
right.
construction market just shit the bed.
Yep.
We had construction companies going out of business, and it occurs to me, the students in 241, let's see here, in 2008 you were how old?
3.
Exactly. 3 years old. He's not understanding what the housing market crisis was, or the recession was, or probably no idea that like we had students that had jobs, like seniors that had jobs, and between when they accepted the job and when they graduated, their company called and said, yeah, that job is not a thing anymore. Sorry. We had interns that got laid off.
And we have seen that in Colorado, not Swinerton, but we've seen other GCs in Colorado have similar things recently. But the biggest thing for us is just market diversification. So we are in so many different markets, and we have really good stakes, I guess, in each of the markets. So we're able to flex as the economy is changing.
Yeah.
And so like COVID, most commercial construction dropped off the board.
Oh, it did.
But
it did. That's what I'm talking. But healthcare did not.
Healthcare was just going crazy.
Yeah.
And so really just having a stake in many different markets has been really helpful for us. I don't know about California specifically, but Colorado is about to be booming.
Really?
Yes.
Why? Why?
Denver specifically.
Yeah?
We've got, I think somebody threw a ballpark of like $1 to $2 billion worth of work coming up in the next like 3 years, just in Denver,
Just in Denver.
or Denver proper.
Oh, not including the outlying.
Yeah.
Why? What's driving the big boom?
The biggest thing is redeveloping all of the sports areas. So like
Okay.
Mile High Stadium is going to be rebuilt.
Wait a minute. It isn't near as old as some of the other stadiums.
Yeah, they're moving it. I don't really know why, but
Oh, okay. All right.
and then everything around like Ball Arena is going to be developed in the next few years. And then there's a lot happening at the airport as well. And so
But once again, that's all. It seems like those are things that. Okay, maybe I'm just getting old, but it doesn't seem like that long ago that they had major developments in all those.
yeah. Well, for the airport specifically, there's like some new structures that are being built, new
Are they
terminals.
getting rid of the tent?
Nope.
Oh gosh,
I don't like the tents.
I don't like that's just the silliest. Yeah, it's just okay. Here we are. Connie's criticizing architecture, which we have no business doing. But come on, even I can look at that and go, that looks silly.
Yes.
But anyway,
Well, they also need to replace the tents. They're
Oh,
at the
do
end
they?
of life, and they don't know how to do it.
well, that's kind of funny. What do you mean they're at the end of the life? They don't know how to. There was no plan for. You know what? That doesn't surprise me a bit. Never
Yeah.
mind. I don't even know why I said that.
They're probably going to have to like build a fake ceiling to be able to open the roof of it and
I was going to
replace
say
it.
you got to rip the whole thing off.
Yep.
That seems like a deal.
Yep. So, but
right.
there's just so much large work coming up in Denver,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really just keeping the market fueled and ready to go.
Okay.
Healthcare is continuing to grow exponentially. We've seen all of our major healthcare clients doing ground ups or expansions, things like
Okay.
that. That's really just going to drive some significant.
Now, is I don't, and maybe I, so correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I think of Denver as like a very big area for things like manufacturing or pharmaceuticals or data centers, and because like you go around the country and that's what's driving construction.
Yeah.
Is those three major things. Is that part of the Denver kind of mix or not so much?
I wouldn't say it's the largest by any means, but we do a lot of lab work and special critical systems, a lot of aerospace out there as well. So, yeah, I mean, data centers, not so much, but I mean, pharmaceuticals and other manufacturing labs for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, so I guess we haven't had a chance since you're moving out there. Is there any questions you want to ask about the Denver area?
Are the golf courses nice?
Everybody loves golf. You're in the right industry.
I love golf.
I personally don't golf, but I know many, many, many people who do. And
That
they
is
love
a
it.
skill. That is a skill that you probably need. That's a
Yep.
good call.
Yep. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, being outside, everybody loves to just be
Ooh,
outside
hold
in
on.
Denver.
But one thing though that this is more of a 352 topic than a 241 topic, but water. What is the power and water situation in the Denver area? Is it as desperate as it has been in the past, or?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We do shut off power because of high winds. Because fires.
Oh yes. Oh sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That makes sense.
But
Wildfires.
otherwise, yeah, there's not really like a big shortage or anything right now.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, see, like our area that we love so much, Estes Park, it's within the last 5 years. A wildfire was like within, I do mean like inches of destroying the entire town at Estes Park.
Yep.
And it was one of the bigger fires, which is saying something. One of the bigger wildfires to kind of go through that area, and I don't remember the name of which fire it was,
Yeah.
but it got to within a mile of, like, we go and we stay at YMCA of the Rockies, and you can still see the wildfire scar within a mile of the edge of Estes Park, and at that time they thought the fire was gonna destroy the town.
We have had some pretty serious wildfires in the last 2 or 3 years. Ever
Yes.
since I've moved out there, we've had some pretty bad ones that have destroyed homes and neighborhoods and all sorts of stuff. And then we actually had one last summer that I was working at a hospital that was kind of close to the fire, and they had patients lined up in the hallway because they didn't have enough beds for everybody.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we haven't really gotten much snow this year. We've only gotten about
It's been
6
dry.
inches.
Yeah, it's been. I had a friend of ours. They ended up canceling their ski trip.
Yeah.
Because where they were going to go just did not have enough snow.
The mountains are struggling. And I mean, it's just a bad omen for the upcoming summer.
That is a bad omen for the upcoming summer. That's right, because the snowpack drives a lot of the water, water table for the next year, and they're kind of lacking.
You want to hear something funny?
Absolutely.
Hawaii got snow before Denver did this season.
That is awesome. But wait, but at the mountains in Hawaii, it snows fairly regularly, doesn't it?
Well, like Florida got snow before Denver did too.
Okay, now that's funny.
Yeah.
That's a crisis. I absolutely believe that. I'd heard this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have some friends that they have a place down in a northern part of Florida, and they were talking about dealing with, it's like 20 degrees, and for them that is a crisis.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not normal.
Yep.
But we've had a pretty bizarre couple of weeks here weather-wise. Oh, weeks. I mean, the last month or two. With all the with as cold and as snowy as it has been in the southeast, it's just kind of bizarre.
Yep.
And then Denver not getting near enough snow is kind of crazy to think about.
Usually, I saw a report that said in Denver we usually get about 6 feet of snow throughout the winter season.
Yeah.
And I think we've only gotten 6 inches, and it's middle of February.
Oh, that's freaky.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that bad.
It was 70 degrees on Friday. Yeah.
Okay, so I've got one of these weather apps, right, that always shows me, it shows me the weather in 2 cities, Estes Park and Ames. And it's funny. It's just like how much nicer the weather is in Estes Park, especially this year.
Yeah. I mean, it's been very warm.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Well, that makes things dry.
Yes. Dry. So it's going to be a concern, especially because we continue to have high winds. And so that's why they've been shutting the power off, because everything's so dry and it's windy, which is just a breeding ground for fire. Yeah.
The power lines get to swinging. They arc a little bit. All it takes when it's really dry is just a tiny little spark, and then massive fires.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit here about the career fair, since that is your mission here. What are you looking for? Interns, full-time hires, both, all? Denver, California, where?
Yeah, primarily full-times right now.
Okay.
We do have one intern coming from Iowa State already.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
We only have
Who?
Caleb.
Okay, I need more. Yeah,
Caleb
there's a few Caleb.
Vanderweedy.
Okay.
So he's coming to join us this summer, and then we've got a couple slots left for internships. So if we find someone really awesome, we'll bring them back to interview with our second round of interviewees. So otherwise, full times, we're needing PEs. That's our biggest drive right now, and then really just trying to get our name out there, be present, so that everybody starts to recognize us a little bit more. And try to get our name out there.
Okay, so for those students that are on their way to the career fair tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know if I'll be able to get this edited and up by that time. Sorry. That's pretty fast turnaround. But let's just say, so what are, like, when students are coming to talk to you, what are you looking for?
Confidence is a big one.
All right.
Somebody who's sure of themselves.
Okay.
And then really, if you have a previous internship, that's fantastic. It's not a requirement. But being able to see somebody who has had some experience in the real world is great. Having extracurriculars in school, so clubs, having a job outside of school, intramurals, things like that. And then really just having a good attitude about things and being willing to jump in and learn and be humble if you don't know things. And just being curious.
Okay. All right. How, so I guess, and this was a question in class. They're like, okay, let's say there was a hiring turned down. How do you avoid getting caught in that? I can't find a job. And kind of like what you were just saying, what I say is, okay, what are you doing above and beyond just the degree?
Yep.
You know, are you doing, things like, shameless plug for MCA, but AGC, MCA, NICA, are you getting involved? Are you taking leadership and not just, oh yeah, I showed up for some meetings?
Yep.
Are you doing some type of officer or responsibility or, coordinating anything from the banquet to whatever it is?
Yep.
Are you doing that extra stuff? Doesn't have to be in a Connie club. Could be for the boxing team, or it could be for, whatever. But those are always good things, I think.
Yeah, and it shows that you're not just sitting in your room doing nothing all day. You're getting out there, you're being social, you're trying to better yourself.
So how important is GPA?
I don't really look at GPA. Nobody.
See, there, you heard it here first.
I've been in the industry for 7 years. Nobody has ever once asked me what my GPA was.
Which is, okay, if I could say, that is kind of hilarious because of how much effort you put into it.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know if it's readily obvious, but Heather was pretty grade absorbed. I don't know. Am I saying that? Maybe that's not fair. Maybe that's fair.
No, I was.
You was.
I was one of 2 Connies my semester to graduate with honors, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah. And then nobody ever asked her about it again.
Nope.
Right. I mean, and I don't think it was so much that you were really all that worried about your GPA. I think it's just that you were so hyper competitive.
Yeah.
All right. You have to understand, like during her. Who'd you graduate with? Remind me here. There's in your capstone. Who was in your capstone at the same time?
Bobby, Steph.
Yeah, Steph Shaw. Right? Yeah.
Grace was a semester behind me.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting everybody I went to school with.
That's okay.
Lauren Cowell, Megan Collins.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. See, so there's this hyper competitive group, and when they would actually if someone was in capstone, they wouldn't leave until the other people left, because they might get ahead of them. You might have a better final project. So since you're in True 41, you'll appreciate this. One time, so we're leaving for the masonry tour, and it's like at 6 a.m, and a lab is due, and she's my TA, and so she shows up to get the labs, and some of the students like, oh, this is so early. It was hilarious. So they're turning it in to Heather, and Heather's like, she goes, look at me. I'm in the same clothes I was yesterday. Shut up.
Yeah.
like she was like, I don't want to hear your whining.
I slept under the desk in capstone last night. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? That she was a hard grader. She's like, I don't want to hear. Oh, you worked hard. Oh, she's brutal. She's pretty brutal.
Hey, it served me well.
It did. Okay, so Stephanie Shaw, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, I still keep in touch with her too.
Yeah.
Right. It's funny. So when Stephanie Shaw is interviewing, it's hilarious. One time she told me, she says, "You know how I cut to the chase in interviewing?" And I was like, "How's that?" She goes, "I ask them what they think of Connie 241, and the students that don't like it, I don't even talk about hiring."
That's a good one.
Yeah.
My coworker Mark, during our last career fair, he asked all of our interviewees, how many windows do you think are in Ames? And I was like, you're gonna scare these poor kids. And he expects you to come up with an answer on the spot.
How many windows?
Yes.
There's okay, let's average if it's this many structures
But cars.
Oh, okay.
Doors.
Doors.
So
That is such an unfair question. Good Lord, I don't even know.
I was like, oh man, nobody's gonna come work for us now.
Yeah. Well, there you are. That is only see, other companies it'd be like, describe a time in your career where you had a conflict, right? Connies are like, no, I want an estimate for windows.
Yep.
Total in Ames.
Process.
You have 30 seconds. That is a pretty Connie kind of interviewing thing.
Yes.
All right. So are you doing interviews here on campus?
Yep. We'll be doing them on Wednesday.
On Wednesday?
Yep.
Okay. That's awesome. So what does it take for somebody to get a Heather Jenkins callback, right? Where it's like, hey.
Yeah.
Really nice resume paper?
I was one of the people when I was a student, I printed my resume on cardstock and I got 11 phone calls that night. I gave out 13 interviews.
Oh, that
or
is
resumes, I mean. So
I don't think it had anything to do with your card stock.
it makes a difference, okay?
Okay. All right.
But no, really just how somebody presents themselves when they come introduce themselves at the career fair. That's the biggest thing. Again, being confident, being sure of yourself, and
Good communication skills basics.
yeah. And just being like, hey, I know what I want. I want to work for you. That's really impressive for us.
All right. Well, that's good stuff. That's good stuff for heading to the career fair. Like I said, unfortunately, but you know what? These things are timeless, right?
Yeah.
You just put them on there, and there's a wealth of information for people to get, whether it's this career fair or the next one, who knows?
Yep.
All right. So any lessons learned, I guess? So you've been in the industry not quite 10 years. Okay. How's it different than what you thought it would be when you were a student? Because you're old enough to have gotten,
Yeah. I would say, first of all, since I've graduated, women in construction have increased exponentially.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
I went from being like one of a handful of women at my previous company to being like probably one of 25 to 30%.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We just had a pretty good discussion. I just put the podcast up from last week. I don't know. Did you get a chance to see it?
Not yet, no.
Okay. It's with one of my classmates. Okay. So graduating in 97, Beth Duvajonk.
Nice.
Good friend of mine from, going all the way back to when we were in Connie 221 together.
Yeah.
Anyway, and, she's definitely a pioneer of women in construction. And now she's vice president in charge of construction in Iowa and Minnesota for Opus.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And then we had 6 of the Connie female students, women students, in there asking her questions. And this was a huge subject because you got to understand, when Beth was graduating, it was a even different world.
Yeah. Well, and it's almost Women in Construction Week.
First
week of March.
What's that?
First week of March.
First week of March.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think this is necessary for our industry because we can't have half the population not think that this is a viable job.
Yeah, I would say
it doesn't work.
You definitely start to see more women come forward. Like at the career fair last fall, like more than half the people that came up to us that we really loved were women.
Mm-hmm.
And so just being, again, sure of yourself, being confident, like that goes so far. And yeah, I love to see women continuing to enter the industry. It's awesome.
Okay. I would say that kind of like everything from safety programs to mental health, strides are being made.
Yes.
And that is good to see. That's a necessary thing. Although I think if you look at our faculty, I think we are more than, I think the guys are the minority in the faculty department.
Heck
here.
yeah.
Right? You should come back and teach 241. You should take my job.
Yeah. Iowa.
Yeah, well, Iowa. Yeah, look at her. She's like, yeah, no.
I loved.
I
loved Ames while I was here, but yeah,
I loved Ames while I was here. That was a very nice way of putting it. Okay, that's very polite rejection. Okay, she's not taking my job. All right. Okay. Anything else then that's changed? Because that's an important change.
I think just technology is continuing to develop and being open to that. AI is starting to become more of a presence in the industry, which is a little scary.
Like any technology, it's like, boom, it's here. What do we do with it?
Yes.
And it solves all of our problems. And it's like, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Because I saw the same thing. Okay, this is really going to date me. First, I saw the same thing with 3D modeling. 3D modeling, not first, I'm sorry, most recently. 3D modeling is going to solve all of our problems. And then you realize, no, it doesn't.
Yep.
Right? It's only as good as the construction knowledge of the person doing the drawing.
Yep.
Okay, that's a problem.
Yep.
So we can't rely on it too much. But here, if we rewind the clock a lot to when I was an intern, this is an actual conversation between 2 drafters when I was interning at Waldinger Construction. Hey, do you think AutoCAD's here to stay or is it a fad? Right? And the other one's like, it's just a fad. I'm not giving up my pencil.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's kind of like the same thing again and again and again. But you know, the one thing that I just I kind of have to laugh at is that it's great, but the humans still need to understand the fundamentals.
Yep.
And if they don't, AI will lead them down the wrong path fast.
Yeah, and you got to be able to back check too.
Right.
So, but I mean, not just AI, but really diving into like AR and VR. Like we're utilizing that so much now. We're doing a lot of 3D modeling and 3D printing, which is really cool.
3D printing. I'm sorry. How are you doing that? How are you using that?
So one thing that we do in Denver specifically is with a lot of our negotiated work, we do a lot of pre-con efforts.
Sure,
so we're involved very early on, and we help a lot with design. And so we'll print, like for a hospital expansion, we'll print the original building footprint and where they want to expand and look at several different options to see, like,
that's pretty cool.
Do you want to build out? Do you want to build up? Do you want to build out and up? Like, what does that all look like? And they're able to kind of pick and choose, and you can have a physical representation of what you're doing.
Well, that's pretty cool, because the people that you're talking to probably are not very good at,
Exactly.
There's a lot of people that are not very good at taking in 2D image and turning it into a 3D model in their brain.
Yes.
That is something that only comes with years and years and years of practice, and even then, it's pretty hard to do.
Yep.
So I could see that being very useful.
Yeah, so we've got a lot, like our VDC team is constantly looking for ways to come up with new innovative ideas and technologies that are kind of new to the market to help everything that we do on site. So
Okay, well, I would not have guessed that one.
yeah,
All right.
That's some cool stuff.
That is cool stuff. That's cool stuff. All right, so what do you see are the necessary skills our graduates are going to need in the next few years?
Ooh, being adaptable. The industry is constantly changing. You can learn how to build a building pretty quick. That's not the hard part.
That's not the hard stuff,
Yeah, soft skills are really important. And
What are you saying? Are you saying that like things like teamwork and stuff are important?
Yep, and being able to
way.
communicate.
Gosh, I wonder if that's true.
Yep.
I don't know.
I will say one thing that surprised me after the last career fair. Thank you emails are not really a thing anymore for interviewing or for dinner or anything like that.
Yeah.
Those go a long way.
Those go a long way.
I've heard of some people who will just like automatically throw your resume away if you don't send a thank you email. So.
Wow.
So
there you are.
Yeah, just maintaining relationships, learning how to talk to people, network. That's huge because the industry is very small.
Oh gosh, isn't that that almost sounds something like I literally used him as the example in class talking to 241. Like, this is how small the industry is, you know, and like, yeah, he's brother number 3. And what's funny is in Connie 352 just last week, one of my students there, who's also currently Ava Becker, she's so her dad is in construction at Opus. You know, and when he years ago, he reminded me of it's like, hey, you remember years ago you helped her, you know, pick a school and come to Iowa State instead of Nebraska, you know, because they were talking and you know, I was like, oh, here, you need to talk to, you know, this student, you need to talk to some real students. And anyway, you know, so now she's my TA, and in class yesterday. I was joking about how I was exchanging messages with her dad. You know, I asked her a question, you know, something in class about, hey, you know, how's this calculation work or whatever. I go, you better get the answer right. I'll tell your dad. You know, and I'm like, how small is the Connie world where that's a thing?
Well, funny story, not directly Connie to Connie, but one of my coworkers is my freshman year floor mate's sister-in-law.
Whoa. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's a small world.
Yeah. And so it's just like the fact that Iowa State has such a presence in Colorado, even when I didn't even know it, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
actually, I would have to say that after the draw, you know, from Iowa State construction engineering grads, other than Central Iowa, the most go Kansas City and Minneapolis, which makes perfect sense. Mm-hmm. After that, I bet it's Denver, Dallas.
Yep.
Yeah, I bet those two, Denver, Dallas, and Chicago.
Yep.
Okay. But Denver and Dallas are definitely, big draws for Connie students.
Yeah, I will say people in Colorado are very protective of Colorado. And if you are...
Oh, you're not from here.
Well,
native.
If you don't have Colorado as your top place that you want to move to, people don't love that.
Good point. All right.
I kind of reason with them. I'm like, hey, I didn't know where I wanted to go. I just wanted to go where there was a cool job.
Right.
And that's how I ended up in Texas.
Yeah. True. I mean, you go where they pay.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a job after all.
Yeah.
All right. All right. All good stuff. Okay. Any last bits of advice for the students that are heading to the career fair?
I think just be yourself. Don't overthink it. We're normal people too. We were in your shoes not that long ago. We're relatively easy to talk to.
Yeah.
we can be a little scary.
I think I think in construction engineering we have a little bit of an advantage in that it is very rarely like an HR person.
Yes.
That's the only one there at the booth, or it's someone that has no connection. Almost always. You're kind of what I would say a typical interviewer in that you're an alumni.
Yep.
You've been in the same classes, done the same stuff. If Eric says, "Hey, I'm in 240," and you're like, "Yeah, I get it. I TA'd that. Which lab are you on?"
Yep.
And she'd say, "Hey, your next lab, the answer is 1,000 cubic yards."
I don't have that good of a memory.
Oh, I figured you did. I actually figured you did.
It's been like 10 years since I was the TA.
I bet if you thought about it, you could probably come up with the answers for most of them. But
I think I do still have the DMAC floor plans memorized, though.
yeah, see, she can still answer your questions. But what I'm saying is that's probably not the same in the vast majority of Iowa State engineers going over to Hilton Coliseum tomorrow.
Yep.
They're talking to somebody that maybe doesn't even know the campus at all.
Yep.
Or the program, or definitely not the classes they're in.
Yep.
So I'm saying that is a nice advantage that all of our students have.
Yeah, and I would say just people in construction are very personable anyways, and so just they want to have a conversation. And it's not just like hello, my name is this. Please give me a job, just.
Yeah, but I'm sure you hear that a lot.
Yeah.
It's the aerospace students.
Yes. Yeah. And a couple others.
And a couple of others. A couple of the CEs.
No, not the CEs. The more double E's.
Okay, the double E's. E's. Okay, that's probably true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess any last thoughts did you have or Heather have before we wrap this up? You're like, where's the best golf course?
Attend the career fair. Talk to as many companies as you can because it's good for you.
Oh, it is. It is. Make the most out of that opportunity.
You are valuable.
There you go.
We want Connies.
Yes, and there's just not. This is a same problem that is when you were a student is still true today. We don't have enough.
Yes.
We just don't. With our placement rate and starting salaries, I do not understand why we don't have more. The math is on our side.
Yep.
I mean, I do. Numbers are starting to come up a little, but we're barely back to where we were pre-COVID. Yeah, I'd have to say the numbers are probably very similar to when you were a student.
Yeah.
And we didn't have an excess of students then either.
Yeah.
What was your placement rate at graduation?
100%.
Yes, 100% at graduation. Yes. So what that tells me is that we don't have enough.
Yes.
I mean, not that I don't want it to be 100%. I'm just saying that students could have had a good solid starting career and good started pay if they just would have been in our major.
Yep.
We could get more hired. I mean, look at just look at for mechanical. I know we could get a bunch more hired if we just had them.
Yep.
But anyway.
Yeah, the workforce is definitely dwindling, and it needs to be replenished for sure.
The average age of people in our industry are my age.
Yep.
That's not awesome.
One more plug for Swinerton. But our office average age is like 35. Like we have a very young team.
Then maybe I need to take a job in the Denver area and fix that a little bit,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we've got a great like youthful team that's open to new ideas constantly, and like, how can we do this better, as opposed to being like stuck in your old ways. So
Yeah. All right. Well, those are good things.
Yep.
Well, I sure appreciate you coming over back,
Thank you.
all the way out here and getting here early so that we can do the podcast in the morning before the career fair. Wish you guys luck in the recruiting. Okay. I wish this guy luck, but he's already got a job for summer. So
you can start going for next year.
Yep.
Well, yeah, they are. They have to. You remember that assignment, okay?
Oh, yeah.
They got to go. Got to get stuff for mechanical and electrical hires. So, although he's kind of cheating because he could just get his own company's stuff. Are they here? Is Harris here?
I haven't looked. I will look today, and then I'll talk
Because
to them if they are there.
I want to say they are, but I'm iffy on that.
Well, I'm not sure because some companies usually do. I mean, some do both, but
Yeah,
some
that's
do
true.
two
Some
because-
just do fall.
Yeah.
All right, that is very true. Hold on. Hey, wait a minute. Isn't Daniel Kellen in yours?
Yeah. That's
Hold on. He texted me. Oh, yep. He's coming to industry night. All right. Oh, so.
We're having an info session tonight.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got our mechanical industry night tonight.
Oh.
So you better go to it, I guess, since you're interning there and your company's going to be there.
Yeah, I can see what I do have. I'm in a fraternity and I have chapter, but I could
Skip.
Yeah, I can tell them that I have something going on.
Yes, your future employer is here. So, all right.
Yep.
It is 6 to 8 tonight at Sweet Caroline's. So there will be.
Oh.
Yeah. See.
That sounds better. That sounds
Exactly. See. Yeah. Ditch the fraternity thing tonight. All right. Well, with that in mind, I'm going to thank my guests for taking this time out of their busy schedule. Thank you for coming all this way, and thank you for the discussion. It's always a pleasure to have you back here. And with that in mind, we are going to wrap it up for another session of the Office Hours with Professor Brad Perkins. Thank you all for listening.